everybody. Welcome to Giggles and Goals podcast.
Welcome.
I'm Leonie.
And I'm Crystal-Dior.
And we're so happy to have you with us
We're so
today.
excited. So, Leonie doesn't know this. She's about to find out right now.
Oh my God. We've been sitting here for a minute and now you got some secrets to tell. Here we go.
So, this episode is about motherhood. So, I named it On My Mama. Isn't that
Oh,
cute?
my mama.
Isn't that cute? I thought you'd be
mama.
excited about that.
Oh, my
So, that's the name of this episode, On My Mama.
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to talk about being a boss and being a mother or wanting to be a mother. Or for me, I want to be a wife. I want to be a mother. But I'm also, entrepreneur.
Yes. I'm also a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur. And it comes with a lot.
Yeah.
So I can talk from the perspective of I'm in it, and she can talk to this perspective.
I want to be in it.
I want to be in it.
But we're going to start with our one-liners, though.
Okay. Yes, we are.
Let's do
before
that.
we get into it. So, mine's is
I love yours. Go ahead.
in a world of pacifiers and playdates, I'm the CEO of keeping it peaceful and fun.
I like it. You should have some spice in there, though. Could you be a little spicy?
Okay, well, this is my mom vibe.
Oh, the
okay?
spice is
I'm like the sweet mom vibe.
I'm like, I know a spicy Leonie.
Spice will come later.
Okay, y'all ready for mine?
Yeah,
okay.
here we go.
I'm just here blending ambitions and dreams of family and life because who says I can't have it all?
Who says you can't have it all?
Who says?
Because everybody's all is different than somebody else's.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So, I really love yours. I think that's really good because you can't have it all.
Thank
So now it's time for Who Said That?
Who said that?
With the neck roll. Who said that? So today it says, any other woman who has to go to work and pick up the kids and make dinner, that's way harder than what I have to do. Who do you think said that? Wait, I gotta.
Yeah, I need clues.
Okay, clues. I'm gonna try to start small and then go big.
Okay.
It's so hard to say anything that is. Let me just shut up because I'm just gonna give it away.
Okay, just give me one good clue.
She's a sister.
Okay.
She's a mother.
Okay.
Her family unit resembles a cartoon.
Tabitha Brown?
No, resembles a cartoon that she once sang the theme song for.
Kyla Pratt?
No. Close, though. And
Beyonce.
Yes.
Beyonce be making dinner.
She don't make dinner. She said that, first of all, Beyonce's already admitted she can't cook.
Okay.
So she says, any other woman who has to go to work and pick up the kids and make dinner, that's way harder than
Oh, she's saying I don't do all that.
Right. She's like, my job is easy compared to that job.
Okay.
So
Okay,
in
Beyonce.
the spirit
I'm
of
not used to
mom,
her having many quotes.
She actually has a
She don't
ton.
be
She actually
talking.
has some. No, she does interviews in magazines. That's where you got to find what she has to say. And she actually has some really good gems.
Okay,
She really
Beyonce.
does. She really does. I for preparing for this, I learned a lot about her.
Okay.
A lot more than I already knew.
So I'm excited about our topic of the day because
Yes.
I have a lot of opinions.
What's your first hot take about the topic today?
My first hot take about the topic.
Yes.
I love all the things the Black celebrity women are doing in motherhood.
Yes. Okay.
I just love watching it.
I think right now being a mom feels so cool.
It does
because
feel
Rihanna
cool.
had a couple of babies.
Yeah.
So-
Did Rihanna make it okay?
I think Rihanna made it cool. Like we're in a new baby.
She's definitely a
boom,
billionaire mom.
but she's also like a edgier mom.
She's
You
an
know what I'm
edgy
saying?
billionaire mama. And she back to back them babies.
Yeah, she did.
She's Super Bowl pregnant.
She did, and she did it so well. I really loved it. I
Yeah.
love the choreographer. Her choreographer, Paris Goebel, I think her name is.
Mhm.
I've been following her career for a while, so I love that.
Did you hear the tea on that?
What?
She didn't intend for that to be a baby reveal.
Of course, because she did. She planned to be pregnant. Did she plan to?
No. And so even with her, she didn't, her jumpsuit wouldn't properly zip
That
the day
makes sense.
of the Super Bowl.
But she couldn't hide it, could she?
Well, with the jumpsuit, it wouldn't have shown.
Well,
it was
she
a
was
big,
bigger
it was
than
a little,
she expected to
It was a
be.
little bump. So the jumpsuit was supposed to kind of camouflage, but it wouldn't zip. So she was like, hey.
Either the jumpsuit was too small or she was bigger than she anticipated.
Probably a little bit of both.
Right.
But it became about the reveal, and we're like, oh.
Well, it was awesome.
So she
First
went
of all,
with it.
It was iconic.
Yeah.
And again, she was up in the air, pregnant. Like, I
Yeah.
would be so scared. When I was pregnant, you're very wobbly. Okay?
Mhm.
But she was early on, so maybe didn't feel that wobbly. But I felt wobbly.
I mean, most people would be like, she should have just not done it. You know, she's
Why
pregnant.
not?
She has had a baby. She's 35. She's what? Technically an older mother.
Geriatric.
She's technically you know, she's up there dancing. Most people would have given her crap for that.
Right.
But I think it was a boss move of her to be like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do the most. But for my business, I'm a billionaire. This is an opportunity I'm not going to let slide. So I appreciate her kind of honoring both sides of her life.
Right.
Because she was careful. She wasn't up there doing the most. Because we were noticing, like, we're not getting much energy here, Riri.
Right.
But she was like, I'm doing this for my business.
Right.
And I loved her. She wasn't even on our list, but...
She wasn't. But
I
like starting off with her because it's going to blend into what we're talking about. There's a mix between old school and new school of how handling pregnancy in business and specifically in the industry, music industries and stuff like that.
Yeah, like if we think old school, I remember Lauryn Hill has shared her story many times.
Yes.
How she got pregnant and they're telling her this is going to mess up your career, and she even wrote a song about it on her biggest, like her only album, but the one that made her a legend. And that on that album, she was talking about being a mom. And so it was one of those things that back then, you get pregnant and you're in the height of your career, it's like a no-no.
It is.
It's a big no-no. Who else did that?
I have something, so I'm going to jump into it. We can talk about it now, but Erykah Badu, maybe we can save it for later, but Erykah Badu was another person.
Oh, she was one too?
So I'll talk about it now. Erykah Badu, she was pregnant when she broke. You know, call Tyrone.
Oh, she was pregnant?
She was pregnant when she did the live performance of that and it was recorded. I think that's when the song broke and she was pregnant.
Oh, wow,
she went on tour after that and she said she took her newborn with her on tour.
I love that. I hope Tyrone wasn't the baby daddy.
Oh, I hope. I think Andre 3000 was the baby daddy.
Oh,
possibly.
Well,
hilarious.
But I mean, back then it was just such a taboo thing. Like even Zoe Kravitz, her mom, what's her name? Lisa Bonet. She said that she got pregnant with Zoe when she was in the midst of the Cosby Show.
That's right. And they had that whole thing.
They took her off the show. Right. They didn't want to write it in, and she got in trouble, and it was all this controversy around her keeping the baby in the height of her, you know, being the star of that show. And she had her baby, and she bounced back. But they gave her such a hard time.
Yeah.
So Lisa Bonet, she was given a hard time because of that, and she had her baby and bounced back.
She did bounce back, and I remember that season where it was not even just that season. Did she come back? Because
they ended up writing her back in. Like she came back as an adult. Remember, like she left for a while. Then she came back with like the military husband with Raven Simone. But they wrote her off for like a whole season.
And it's funny because Felicia Rashad was also pregnant during. She was able to shoot during it.
I remember that season.
Had to hide it.
All the shots.
They had a big teddy bear there for no reason.
Yeah.
Like I do miss that show. I used to watch that nonstop.
I think they made it okay for her because she was married.
I think so.
And I think they gave Lisa.
It was like her position, and especially back then. We can bounce around if it makes sense for us to talk about Dolly Parton right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dolly Parton and that time, Dolly Parton was, forgive me, I don't know time frames and years, but I'm sure Dolly Parton was way
around
before
that time. Yeah.
She was probably before Cosby Show, way before Cosby Show, but it was Cosby Show and Dolly Parton was during that time where women couldn't be pregnant in show business. Nope. You couldn't really do that. Even
in the corporate world,
and exactly,
you couldn't do that.
Exactly, and it's still kind of in some spaces it's a little iffy.
Yeah, but how y'all expect to get here?
Exactly, and women gotta work because
people gotta be born.
Pay the bills, guys. Anyway. For one, yeah. Moving on, because that's what we're gonna go on a tangent on that. But in that time, like Dolly Parton said, I didn't have kids for my career. Yeah. I wanted to continue my career.
Yeah.
But she was in a time where you couldn't really do that compared to now where people are having babies left, right, and center on any stage. Cardi B was pregnant and she showed it. And there's some people who make different choices, like Halle Bailey. She decided not to share it, which was really weird because not weird, but I'm bittersweet about it. What are your thoughts?
I understand because I mean, even when we heard the rumors of her being pregnant, people came for her just off of rumors. Imagine if she had confirmed it. You know, I feel like her whole pregnancy would have been interviews. So it might have been highly stressful. Maybe she just wanted to enjoy
her pregnancy,
this moment. You know what I mean? And now that I'm watching like her kind of share moments from it, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she got to have a whole peaceful 9 months.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Even what's her name? Kylie Jenner did
it.
the same thing.
She did?
Yeah, we didn't know she was pregnant until that baby was here. That first
I don't
baby.
really pay attention to them, so I don't know.
We didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she hit it, and then she, like, released, like, a video. Like, we didn't see her pregnant. Like, she was...
Is this, like, her first baby or second baby?
The first one.
Don't remember that.
We didn't know. So, I get it. They don't want... They share their lives with us 90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a moment that you can't redo.
Right.
You can't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure she's like, I just want to enjoy it without the troll. I mean, she got a lot already with us just rumoring.
Right.
So I get it.
So it was bittersweet for me because I'm like, I do appreciate that she hit it for herself, especially birth outcomes for Black women right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody needs to add stress, for
No.
one. But the thing I would have liked to see is her flaunt it because she's a Disney princess now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what could have contributed to her hiding it is the fact that she's a Disney star.
Yeah.
And so they have a certain persona they want you to have.
Yeah.
And I believe they own the entire person. Like when you're a Disney person, they own your brand if they're going to continue to have you in other movies, I think.
Yeah.
Something to that effect. I know that's how it works with like Marvel and things like that. Like when something happens to a character, they don't bring them back if
Yeah, and the thing is, her being a Disney princess, it makes her an example to children.
Right.
And she's not married.
Right.
And not that that's a taboo thing, but in the world of our society, I
think it matters for some people, not everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't. But I'm sure if like we're marketing to children, you know, and
that's fair.
I don't agree with it. I'm just thinking. I know Disney can be very conservative.
Right.
Like if you like they fired Oh Boy for whatever he did outside of work.
Yeah.
So like they're very conservative and they're very tight on their influence on children. Because parents will boycott in a minute.
They will.
So I wonder if that's why she also was like, let me just.
I think that has a lot to do with it. Although the wanting to see more progressiveness in this space wants me to be like, I wish you could have flaunted it or whatever. She was clearly really happy about it because she released all these hidden videos.
Yeah, now she is.
She had Photoshop things apparently.
Yeah, she did Photoshop for Halloween.
Her belly out. And so it's like I would have liked to see her really be able to share that publicly.
Yeah.
And not have to be in this like societal box that women can't be pregnant.
But to be honest, I know regular people who hide their
really.
One of my close friends. I remember I was helping her plan her baby shower, and she's like, "Wait, before you send that Evite, let me tell them I had a baby. Let me tell them I'm pregnant. Not that she had a baby; she was pregnant.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So she just didn't say anything. It wasn't like
but was she like early on where it's like was not the safe zone?
No, like she was huge. She was due in like a month.
Wow.
And I'm trying to invite people to her baby shower. She's like, "Wait, I need to go tell them I'm pregnant first."
That is hilarious.
And she isn't the type to share. She's just more of a private person. It wasn't like she was purposely not telling people. She just doesn't post on Instagram. She doesn't post on social media. She was like, I wasn't thinking about sending out group texts. Hey, I'm pregnant. Right. You know? Mm-hmm. So some people are just private, and maybe Hallie is just.
I think. Yeah, and there's some cultures who don't share about those things. There's some people who are like, everybody don't even know my business like that, so they don't share those things. So, I don't know. It could have been a mixture of all those things.
Yeah, I mean, jumping to Keke Palmer.
Yes.
She was different. We knew she was pregnant from the day she was
pregnant. At all. She was so excited. I love that she was so excited. We
knew she was pregnant from the jump. And even now in her motherhood, like, she talks about how, like, she'll be breastfeeding on the ride to an interview, you know? Yes. And then, like, storing, she had, like, a little like freezer thing that she stores the milk in the car, and her assistant carries it around.
That makes sense. She's really trying to do her best. She's making it work. I love that she's doing that.
She's glowing.
Yes,
but I don't know if that's a privilege that everyone has. If we're being honest,
it's not. So I want to talk about that because as I struggle with breastfeeding, I didn't expect for the post-pregnancy to be everything it was. And the recovery took a lot more out of me than I expected. And so breastfeeding is a touchy subject for me because I wanted to still be breastfeeding my baby. She's 7 months now, and I breastfed for maybe 3 months.
Okay.
And breast milk is... A lot of it had to do with not knowing a lot about breastfeeding and the benefits of it and all of the work it takes to do it. So in Kiki's situation, when you're maybe she's blessed to have a really abundant milk supply. But some people don't come out that way. You have to pump every 2 hours around the clock, so that your milk can come and like produce enough for your baby
that's
to
a lot.
fulfill them, so they don't
It's
have
a
to be on
job.
formula. It's a full-time job. And then the more work you do, the more you work out. So when she's trying to keep her body in shape, the more you go to work, all that stuff, all that moving around, that affects your milk supply. So if she's able to keep it up while doing all of this,
Yeah, I can't imagine.
It's really amazing.
Having to do like all that you're describing. I remember when you were telling me, you're like, it's like an all day thing.
It's an all day thing.
And if I skip, I remember you telling me, like, if you skip a 2 hour segment, it like delays
and
like
and
the
if
milk
you,
supply.
So if you miss a couple of days, your milk supply could just decrease.
Yeah, and if you're working and you're trying to build a business and you're trying to do this, that's a lot. Like you definitely need support in doing all that.
But one thing I want to say to the moms out there, if you are struggling with breastfeeding, one thing that my chiropractor told me, she said, and this is when I had already kind of like given up, but she's basically, it's like, even if you don't breastfeed to supply all of your baby's meals, what breastfeeding does is that when you latch your baby, whatever they need, whatever nutrients they need, what their saliva communicates that to your body, and when it produces the milk, it gives them the vitamins and everything they need. So if they're sick,
how amazing our bodies are.
It's amazing. I didn't know that. And she's like, even if you latch once a day, and just so they can get the vitamins, think of it as medicine and not necessarily as you're feeding. So that's a tidbit for those who are struggling with breastfeeding. It's just like, just latch.
It doesn't have to be all or nothing.
It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Well, other women, like Issa Rae.
Right.
She's deciding. She's not sure.
She's not sure
what she wants to do. And she's like starting a network right now, or a production company or something she's doing.
Right.
And I'm sure she's like, man, can I take 4 months off? Or everyone's pregnancy is different. Some people, you're on bed rest. Some people work all the way up to the 9th month running around town. So you don't know. So she's probably trying to figure out, like, man, when is a good time? I'm launching these new things. When do I have time to stop?
So the thing with her is she can afford help. I'm not in her pockets, but I'm pretty sure she can afford some help.
I'm sure.
And so one thing she said was like, I don't know about having children because I don't want the baby to slow me down. And I remember the Breakfast Club having people call in and talk about this and say, like, does a baby slow you down? In my opinion, having a baby can slow you down. But in her case, she can afford to get to still buy her time back.
Right. Well, if it depends on what type of parent you want to be.
Right.
Because I watch Paris Hilton's show.
Yes.
And she does surrogacy. She's a surrogate. Well, she gets surrogates. And I know that one of her episodes, she had a nurse, like, immediately. Like, the baby came home.
Right.
There's a nurse, and the nurse was
She's
there.
ready.
All the time. And so I remember Paris was in therapy saying she really didn't see her baby that much. Because she kept grinding. Like, she was just set, like, literally the next week, she was gone. Flying. And then the therapist was like, well, do you want to be closer to your baby? And she's like, yeah. And so in those few months, you have to decide, am I going to be the primary person this baby goes to?
Right.
Or is it going to be this nanny? Because it was coming to that point where Paris was like, there are certain motherly instincts that she had, but she was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
So she wasn't with the baby as much as the nanny because she had help. And so she didn't feel, her motherly instincts she didn't trust them because she wasn't with her baby all the time.
Right.
And so it's like, yes, they have help, but that impacts.
It does impact. If you want to, being a hands-on mom requires, it's literally a full-time thing, especially you want your child to develop, you want them to be advanced or whatever, like helping them read, helping them, meet their milestones as fast as possible. It's a really hands-on job. But if you can still take some of the load off. For instance, if you have, in the beginning, you have a night nurse. Your baby's going to be asleep. If you could be with your baby in the daytime, sleep at night, you can even have your baby with you and have the nanny there with you while you're doing your work. It is going to slow you down in the beginning. So the whole reason why I bring up the Breakfast Club is because a lot of people said it doesn't slow you down. In my opinion, it does in the beginning. Yeah. Now that Maverick is 7 months old, I feel like I can. She requires a lot from me still, but I could be a little more hands off, or I could trust somebody to come in and be with her for a few hours in the day.
And also, if we reframe the narrative around it slows us down, because if we really dissect that, are we putting a negative connotation on slowing down?
There's
because
nothing wrong with that.
why I think having a whole human should shift your life significantly. Right? But I think the superwoman in us, or our desire to show men that this isn't a negative thing, me being a mom isn't a dig. I think we overcompensate by overworking when it should.
It's also that societal thing, because I remember when I worked at the University of Texas, there was a lady I worked with who was pregnant, and she had the parking was crazy there, and she had to walk really far to get to work, and it was like she was asking if she can get some closer parking or whatever, and they made her register as handicapped so that she can get a closer parking spot instead of just giving her a better pass.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like, it's those type of that type of narrative that's painted around being pregnant, being a mother.
But even that narrative, it comes from men.
Yeah.
Because I doubt a woman, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and so you're not, you would never consider yourself handicapped as a pregnant woman.
No, and I think that's a thing that our culture needs to do. We need to reframe our views when it comes to how your life should change.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we create, this world would be nothing without our uterus.
Right, exactly. Humans. There would be no world.
There would be no men without uterus. The men coming out of this, right? And so it's like, why do we act like that's a handicap? Why do we act like we have to overcompensate because we just had a baby? We don't want anyone to think that we're, right? Why don't the world overcompensate for us because we're providing you humans?
Right. It's like women should be way more valued than we are, and that's just the way it is around the world.
Like, honestly, if someone had a baby, the company should be like, okay, who could take this from her, because we're not going to let her do as much as she was doing before for a few months, because that's ridiculous. She's had a like, it shouldn't be I'm afraid to ask for help, kind of want them to fire me, or I don't want to not do this interview because then they won't cast me in the da-da-da-da-da. Like, it shouldn't be us hiding the fact that we just literally produce a human. Our bodies readjusting. Like, so much happens to a woman's body. The fact that you make vitamins out of your body based on a baby, like, come on. Like, I can't get a break? Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's just our society's thoughts on it. It's just horrible. Because no one would be here without it.
Right.
And it just sucks.
An example, so things are changing. An example of this is Sexy Red. Do you know who that is?
No. Wait, I feel like I heard her song. Is it a little ratchet?
Oh, very.
Okay.
Very, very, very.
Where did I hear her song at? Somewhere. Someone said this, and I was like, who is it?
Okay. She does the ski.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
Her. Okay. So she had her and SZA and Drake just did a music video.
Okay.
And apparently, I meant to show it to you before we started recording, but apparently she went into labor during the shooting of the video, or it seems,
oh my gosh,
it seems like, or it could have been they were together and she went into labor and then they made that the video. It could be either one.
So she's in labor in the video?
It's supposedly, that's what it looks like. I'll show it to you afterwards.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
And she's like, oh, I gotta go to the hospital, and like SZA is like, Drake put down the camera. All this stuff. They go to the hospital. It sounds like she's having a baby, but then it cuts to her holding the baby, but it's a doll, but she's not pregnant anymore, and she's actually pregnant in real life.
Oh, so she doesn't really want to show her baby.
I wouldn't either. She didn't.
I wouldn't either, but yeah.
She didn't show her baby, but she was pregnant, really pregnant in the first half of the video, and then not pregnant by the end, holding a doll.
Funny. I want to watch it now. Okay.
Yes. So I mean, the fact that she's been pregnant, we've known she was pregnant since the very beginning of her pregnancy. She was shooting a music video while pregnant, possibly having a baby, and then days after having a baby, finished the music video. It's like the Halle Bailey situation. We were talking about the more Dolly Parton style, that type of stuff. Compared to this, it's like we're living in a polarized world for real when you can have those two things in the same place.
Yeah, and I love it. I mean, I feel like me dating. I'm single, y'all. Holla. Just kidding. Don't holla. Or maybe holla. Depends on what you look like. I'm just kidding. Okay. But whenever I have conversation with any men and I mention anything about like my dreams and goals, they always are like, well, do you want to have children?
Right.
Yeah. I do. When I want to be married, why is it one or the other? Like I told you, I don't think slowing down is a negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
I will slow down, right? When it's that time. But right now, I don't have kids. So I'm like, I'm not going to slow down now. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And then when the kids come, I'll adjust. But it just seems like there's this negative thing. If you mention that you're ambitious, if you mention that you have goals, people then assume, oh, you don't want to.
I don't know. But that's like, I really can't speak for men. So I really don't know why they have that type of mindset. For me, I didn't really want children unless I was married.
Yeah, same here.
I'm like, I wasn't the type of person that's like, I can't wait to have children. First of all, I grew up raising children. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a bunch of nieces and nephews. I've been working in daycare since like 13 years old. So I wasn't like gung-ho for children. It wasn't until me and Robert been married for almost 8 years. And we had our first baby last year. Mm-hmm. And we did have some miscarriages along the way. But it's like those were things we didn't really try that much. For Maverick, we like semi-try. We were like halfway try, halfway not. But we were more prepared, and I was really ready. I've been saying I wanted a baby for like a whole year by the time we had her.
Yeah.
So it's like that wasn't, none of those feelings really came until I got married.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I want a husband and a marriage and a happy situation, and then I want kids.
Right.
And so if Lord's going to send me my husband.
Right.
But I don't want to have kids without my husband. I'm the same way. And although I love kids, I can be a great auntie.
Right. Okay? Exactly. And it's like, if I wanted to have children before I even got married, I probably it would have been different. Like, oh, I can't wait to have children. I want to get married so I can have kids. But it wasn't, I just was like, living life. Yeah. And I wasn't thinking about.
And I wonder if that's the entrepreneur part of us.
Probably.
Because I talk to some women who aren't as business focused as I am, and they're like, I want to have kids. They're freezing eggs
right now, right?
They're freezing eggs. They're thinking about adoption. They're thinking about
businesses.
But I'm more like, no, I want a husband.
Right.
And I'll slow down when I cross that bridge.
Right.
But I know some women who are more, they want kids.
Right. Like that's like goal one.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's a difference of an entrepreneurial brain versus not. I don't know.
I don't know. That let us know in the comments what you think about that.
Because I've always wanted to be a businesswoman, so I don't know what it's like
to want kids first.
Not. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like kids, but you know,
it's like it's not my kids.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm excited as we evolve. The next generation's a lot more not tolerating craziness, and I'm excited to see how things shift. Like one of my friends just started a new company that's ran by 2 millennial women, and they left their bigger company. It's an advertising company. They left their bigger company because one of the CEOs was a young woman, and she was married, but she got pregnant, and her company made it like a big stink.
Right.
And they made her very uncomfortable. They made the environment, cause she handled big accounts, and they made it very, like, kind of like downgrading her while she was in her pregnancy because she was pregnant. And so it made her quit. And she brought some of her coworkers on with her and started this new company. Right. And they champion family. They champion, take care of your kid. You need to go on maternity leave? No problem. Your job will be here when you get back. Right. And so I know that's what our generation, the one after us, we're shifting that. Because we're like, no.
We're like, we're not here for that.
No. So I'm excited.
I am.
To see how things shift, that women aren't feeling like they have to decide. They can do both.
Yes.
And have support in doing both.
I feel that. I had a similar situation with a previous job where I was pregnant and I was really sick and I wasn't able to come into work as regularly as they wanted me to. And long story short, my supervisor was like, a lot of women go through this. Like, what's so different about you? Type of thing. And it was from that time where my husband and I were like, we want to be entrepreneurs and work for ourselves because we don't want anybody controlling our time when we need to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, it really, and this makes me sad. Like, I have another close friend, and her baby's 2 or 3, and she works from home twice a week. And so she had just started this job. She was maybe a month in, so she didn't have very many sick days. And her son got sick. And so she had to be home with him because her husband commuted far to work. He was sick at the last minute type of thing. And so she asked her boss, can I shift my work from home day? So I work from home. My son's sick. Yes. Instead of Friday. No, because you already submitted for Friday. You can't make a job. So it's like those type of things. I'm just like, come on.
Right. It's like we are real people. Like we are like there's nothing wrong with being a pregnant woman. There's nothing wrong with being a mother.
Yeah.
And you should give grace for those things.
Yeah, like my full-time job, I work for a company, we teach leadership skills. And one of the biggest trainings is like managers and directors and VPs not losing sight of being human, and that you are managing human people who have human things that happen, like they have families, or they're pregnant, their kids are sick, whatever it is. So if it's within reason to be flexible, be flexible.
Be flexible. Don't be an asshole about it.
Yeah. So as we're becoming CEOs and you're becoming CEOs, like remember that, and especially if any fellas are watching us, I hope you are.
Right.
Subscribe. DM me. Just kidding.
Don't.
But if you're watching, like, be mindful of that. Like, maybe your bodies don't. We know your bodies don't go through this, but you came from a body that went through it.
Right.
So
it's
be
like,
understanding.
Have some appreciation.
Yeah. So let's jump to things we wish we knew.
Yes, things we wish we knew.
Do you want to go first?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So, things I wish I knew before I am who I am today. How much it means to have a supportive and present village, especially during motherhood.
Yeah.
Yes, you gotta keep the people who you would trust around your children, keep them close, and live close to them if you can.
Yeah. I like that. And then mine is balance isn't about perfection. It's about finding harmony in your choices and prioritizing the things that you believe are important. No one else has to agree with you. You prioritize. But I think overall, when I think about this subject, whether you're changing diapers or you're signing deals, I think that we should be proud of ourselves. We should be gracious to our bodies, and we should dream any dreams that we want, and don't let society tell us anything about what we dream, what we want to do, how we want to balance, and how much grace or how much we need to slow down.
Right.
Do whatever the heck you need to do, and you can still be a boss.
Exactly.
Yeah. But follow us.
Yes, at Giggles and Goals.
On Instagram, on Facebook, on everywhere, on YouTube. Subscribe, do all the things.
Yes.
Tell your friends, and jump in the comments. We want to know your perspective on this. Even if you don't agree with us, tell us. We want to talk about it.
And we're a few episodes in by now, so please let us know what type of topics you'd like to hear from us, and we'll be happy to talk about those.
We love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.